Welcome to our second episode of Coffee with Jason. I'm proud to have Pat Sheehan with us. Pat is the owner and CEO of DMC Technology Group located in Toledo, Ohio. And we want to walk through and today focus on some of the things that DMC's done in the Toledo area, the excitement around being a part of the Toledo culture, and really give a good history of the Toledo area. So Pat, welcome to Coffee with Jason.
Thanks, Jason. It's my first one, so I'm excited.
It'll be fun. Hey, so I mentioned that DMC has been a long-standing Toledo-based company. I'm interested in, what are you most proud of as the CEO and owner of DMC and the way that DMC and Toledo have worked together?
Yeah, that's a good question, Jason. I think I can just say one word that kind of encapsulates it all, and that's just simply longevity. And when I say that, we're going to be 32 years old this year, which is hard to believe. We started in 1993. And just beyond that, 32 years is cool. But what I am really, really proud of is the longevity we've had with our teammates and our customers. We have people on our team that have been with us that entire 32 years, some before that with another company. And then we have clients out there too that have been with us that long. And we pride ourselves in not being a transaction-based company. We're all about relationships. And when we interview prospective employees, we tell them we want them to retire with DMC. And we talk to prospective clients, we say we want to work with you forever. So I think the fact that we've done, one of our core values is to do the right thing, to always do the right thing. And I think this is evidence that we try to do the right thing all the time for our customers, for our teammates. And if we keep doing that, we're going to have success. And I think that's evidenced by the fact that we've had this longevity. So.
And I'll give you my own backstory on that a little bit, Pat, in kind of agreement with what you're doing. The way that I used to buy from companies, it was always outside the Toledo area when I was at some of the bigger companies in Toledo. And DMC, and I got connected 15 years ago. DMC helped move one of the first environments into Office 365. And I'll tell you that commitment to the Toledo area and doing the right thing, well, one of my teammates really screwed up our mail environment a little bit. And I called DMC. And I'll tell you, within 45 minutes, I had somebody in my building in the Toledo area really helping to focus on what the problem was, how we fix it. And in really less than an hour, we had the environment stood back up, working and running again. I myself was a customer of DMC for a long time and moved from company to company. And DMC was one of the partners that I helped bring along to each one of those companies with success. And eventually I became an employee of DMC. And so I really think that your assessment is right. The Toledo area has been great to DMC. DMC's been great to the Toledo area, but more often than doing the right thing, being here for companies in Toledo and being local has been super beneficial. So I really appreciate your insight into that.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. You and I have talked about this before, but the stakes are higher when you're a locally owned company, right? We run into our clients and our teammates, of course, in the grocery stores and in church and at Rotary. And so when we have that face-to-face, person-to-person contact, that makes it all that much more important to us.
Yeah. And I think for those of us that have been in the Toledo area a long time, I was born and raised in Toledo. I love being a part of the Toledo area and the Toledo culture. What excites you as a business owner in the Toledo area about not only Toledo's future, but the business growth in Toledo?
Yeah. I think you and I have known for a long time what a great place Toledo is to do business. And I think what excites me is I think the secret's starting to get out. You did that interview on WTOL recently that talked about the data centers that want to move to the Toledo area. And they're doing that because of the abundance of natural gas, of power, transportation, and employees. And we've talked for a long time about being at this crossroads of America, right? Route 75 and Route 80 going across. We have the port. We have, the Gordie Howe Bridge coming across Canada. So what a great place to do business. We've always known that. I think everybody else is starting to figure it out. You think about the cost of living here in Toledo. You think about the fact that we're we're not immune, but we're pretty well insulated from natural disasters. Like we see these hurricanes going on, these wildfires, these earthquakes and flooding. And if I'm a business owner, I want to start a business in Toledo, right? Because it's a perfect environment, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great place for all the reasons you mentioned, and then the fact that we're starting to see this kind of regrowth and reboot of manufacturing in Toledo. We're starting to see the traction of additional white collar and professional technology type jobs in the Toledo area. It's just great growth that we're seeing, and you and I both know that competition continues to raise the tide, and we all get this opportunity to be better because of that. And I think it's an exciting time. Toledo's got a lot of great things going on, so I think you're right. I think you're right. Now let's talk a little bit about things we do for fun. So the Toledo area offers a lot of things that we can do locally, from the metro parks to the opportunities to go to football, basketball, baseball, hockey, lots of great sporting events, concerts coming to Toledo. We've got the Big Zach Brown Band concert coming to the University of Toledo later this year. But one of the things I know you do, Pat, you're an avid bike rider. What's your favorite area route to ride in the Toledo area?
Oh, wow. Now this is a dangerous question to ask because I get to spend the rest of the coffee with Jason talking about biking, but I won't do that. Yeah, I've had the opportunity to bike in some really cool places all over the U.S. and in Europe, and but my favorite place in Northwest Ohio is down along the Maumee River, no doubt. The old Route 24 that now is a nice quiet road because all the traffic's up on the 4-lane. You're riding along the Maumee River. There's just some breathtaking views of the Maumee. So, like from kind of where you live to the White House area, getting down on 24, out to Napoleon and Defiance, getting across the river to Grand Rapids, Waterville is just that's my favorite place by far.
That's great. That's great. I grew up by the Maumee River. I love that area. So I think that's a great place to ride. One of the things that DMC has really engaged on is the DMC Gives Back program and the ability to impact positively the rest of the Toledo area, not just through the business that we do, but the ability to give back to Toledo and impact some of the great things that are happening through charities and other involvement. Can you describe to me what DMC Gives Back, maybe what the goal was when you and Elaine started the DMC Gives Back program, and why it's important to you guys?
Yeah. So, Elaine and I were raised in homes where we were taught how important it is to give back. God has been good to us, right? Our communities have been good to us. So, in our own little way, it's been important for us to, as individuals, to do whatever we can to help out the community. And we've done that in a number of ways. And maybe about a year and a half ago, we decided, you know what? We got this organization, DMC, full of great people that we can maybe leverage this company, the people and the financial resources to kind of up our game a little bit. And Elaine and I are to a point in our lives right now where it's just all that much more important for us to start giving back more. So the idea was, all right, first of all, if we can get our employees on board with this. And as you know, we give everybody 3 paid time off days a year to go do volunteer work. We do this multi-match where we have the employee designate money to his or her favorite 501c3, and we'll make what we call a multi-match toward that. So that's a way that we can financially, and we talk about our time, our treasure, and our talent that we can give back to the community. So we're hoping that we can rub off on our team, on their families, on our customers, on our partners, maybe even our industry in the local area and other businesses to see, hey, here's ways that we can help out our community. So that's become that much more important to us. And we're just excited about doing what we can to help those that are maybe less fortunate than we are. And not only is it a value that we have, it's all called a responsibility to give back to a community that's been so good to us.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that I really enjoyed about our early discussions about DMC and me joining the DMC team is the fact that we think about the area that we grew up. We think about the area that we live in and how we positively impact them. I grew up a Boy Scout. I was an Eagle Scout with Troop 101 in Waterville, and a whole bunch of the Boy Scout way is really thinking about how you impact the area positively. And so from a young age, I love that. I loved coming to a company that has that in place already. Gives me the opportunity, not only financially, but with my own time, to go back into the world that I live and into the people that I see every day and help them. Maybe they don't even know that we're helping, but we have that opportunity to really engage at a different level. And I think that's a great way for us as a team and as a company to not only bond locally, but also to find ways to interact with clients. We're running a basketball pool right now where DMC Gives Back will donate $500 to the charity of choice for the customer that wins that pool. We've got a bunch of customers who are in that pool. And I think that's going to be exciting to see who wins next week, but then also to be able to give that money to the charity of one of our customers' choices and allow them to get engaged with DMC Gives Back.
That would be fun. Yeah, we got 4 number 1 teams in. We should have just picked all the high seeds, right?
Should have done it that way first, right? Statistically, it worked out that way. So
yes.
So final question. We've been at this about 10 or 11 minutes now. Final question. The next 5 years are really going to be exciting. We talked about the Toledo area. We talked about the way that DMC Gives Back helps to impact that area. But as DMC grows and DMC starts to really expand within the local area, what excites you about what we're doing at DMC and some of the changes that you see in the next couple of years?
Yeah. You know, there are really 2 things, Jason. The first part of this answer would maybe surprise a lot of people, but we have people at DMC that are going to be retiring in the next, 1 to 5 years. We have a clump of them. And, you know, you and I have seen so many people have their careers come to early ends through no fault of their own, through corporate acquisition, mergers, private equity, or whatever the case. And that has been a heartbreak for me to sit back and watch friends, family, others, you know, they want to work till they're 65 or whatever. And at 62, this comes to an abrupt end. So I've been determined to make sure that all of our teammates can call their own shot. They decide when they're going to retire, how they're going to retire. And, you know, we don't just push them out the door at the end of that. We have a really nice retirement party where we have their family and sometimes friends come in, and we just make a big celebration out of that. That's so important to me. So in the next 5 years, these folks that I've been together with for a long time, I really look forward to having those great celebrations. And then we have this lifelong relationship with them, right? They become alumni. They come back to the walleye games, to the Christmas parties, whatever. And so I really look forward to that. And then on the flip side, we have a lot of younger folks, and I'm really looking forward with you leading the way, building this team of new people, of new solutions we're bringing on. Just excited about the change that's going to happen. And I like to say, I'm going to be riding shotgun with you. I'm going to be sitting in the front seat with you and watching all this stuff. It's just going to be fun. Who knows what the next 5 years is going to bring with technology, but it's the fun of the team and seeing these young guys and women that we have in the business and how they progress into their career. And I'm just kind of excited about something about the uncertainty, and it's kind of a little euphoric to think, man, what's going to happen next? It's just fun to think about. But I do know that if we keep doing the right thing and follow our core values, that we're going to be successful. And of course, if we're going to enjoy those 5 years, we have to run a sound business. And if we stick to those core values, I know we'll do that.
I agree. I think the core values are a very important part of what we do. And I think we've got this great opportunity at Toledo. So, Pat, I really appreciate you spending the time with me. I really appreciate your insight into not only the history of DMC and the future of DMC, but the Toledo area and DMC Gives Back as well. We'll do this again. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Jason. Take care.